What's up, you guys? So just so you know, all the Dark Souls videos, Dark Souls 2 videos that I'm gonna upload from now on might be a little bit out of order. Of course, if I come up to the Mirror Knight, I obviously know that that's a little bit farther in the game than the Covetous Demon, so that'll be later on. But the ones that I've been downloading and the ones that haven't been downloaded yet, like I said, are a little bit out of order. So if it's a little confusing, don't be confused. You know which bosses are which, and you hopefully you know what order they're gonna be in, and even more than that, it really doesn't matter what order I play them in. But that was the Covetous Demon within less than a minute. Fuck yeah! So that was a lot of fun. What's interesting is that in the one of the fucking kings, the Burnt Ivory King DLC, there's another Covetous Demon in there, and he's like the Snow Covetous Demon, and he's actually more difficult than the boss, and he's not even treated as a boss. He's got more move sets. He rolls, he spits acid or some shit, and he's just a lot more aggressive. So I don't know, were they trying to make up for that boss fight and be like, hey, we can actually make him challenging, fuck you guys, I know he sucks, but we're not that dumb. Well, fuck you too. You shouldn't have put the boss in there if you're gonna be embarrassed enough to remake the boss fight and make it not even a boss fight. This girl, I think other people have a little bit of trouble with her. I am not entirely sure. Don't take my quote for it. But other than her poison stingers, she is so non-aggressive and so slow and just doesn't really do very much. Although I will give Dark Souls 2 a little bit of credit for having you summon someone who's not like just another human. You know, I think that this first and only time where you get to summon a character who is, you know, of a different species entirely. And man, scorpions feel a lot more fucking D&D than they do Dark Souls, and it's just very odd to see a man scorpion in a Dark Souls game. But other than that, you know, this boss fight itself is very odd to see in a Dark Souls game. And you could say that it's because, hey, we're in Drang Lake and this is not, you know, Lordred or Lothric, you know, and this is not a medieval setting, which it really isn't. You know, this is a lot more Nordic feeling, a lot more dwarven feeling than anything, which is probably why I appreciate this game and why I find it charming until now, because I'm on the Gank Squad for the first DLC, and holy fucking Christ, that is the biggest pile of shit boss fight I have ever come across in any game, period. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to go back to it. I might just skip to the next DLC, and thank God that boss is DLC, because in the next New Game Plus that I do, I might just completely fucking skip over that, because that is absolute horseshit. So I'll just find the third and final DLC. I'll go ahead and play that, upload videos from that, and I mean, we've still got a long way to go. I've beaten 24, 25 bosses, and we've only got 3 videos now of 9. So we're still gonna have a very plentiful boss fights, but once we get up to the first DLC, we're not gonna show any of those bosses for a while until I find some fucking way to beat them, because they've all got the health bar of the fucking Pursuer, and they're just a bunch of grave robbers, which is dumb. I really like the Demon of Song. He's okay. Like, I recognize that he's a decent boss and he's not great, but I love his design. I I had a lot of fun fighting him, and you know, he wasn't that challenging, but he was fun. And it's the fun bosses that I'm going to look forward to when I go to New Game Plus. I am definitely not going to look forward to the journey to the Demon of Song, because it is also absolute horseshit. But a lot of these bosses I'm going to have a lot of fun fighting. Here, this is, I think, what makes a perfect Dark Souls formula. Obviously, it's all about the bosses. It's about a boss, it's about making a boss that challenges you, but also is fair in the way that when you die, you feel like it was your fault. Whenever I die from the gang squad, I feel like I've just been butt-fucked, and without my consent, and that there was literally nothing I could have done to prevent it. The other, you know, all the successful bosses in this game, the Mirror Knight, the Pursuer, those are the only two I can think of for now, have been wonderful and have been so much fun, and whenever I've died to them, I'm like, you know what? My fault. Should have dodged, should have gone to my right, you know, should have ran away, whatever. Should have blocked. Stuff like that. I'm like, okay, next time I'm going to know what to do. I'm going to reevaluate. So those are the great bosses. Whenever do something like that. Nishandra was a lot of fun, a little bit, kind of fun. She was decent, but she still had that formula of, you know, I know what not to do and I know what to do to be successful. So that's very important in a Dark Souls game. And also the journey leading up to the boss. Because obviously the boss battles are the most important thing in a Dark Souls game. But what makes those boss battles more enticing, more interesting, more awe-inspiring is the journey leading up to them. You know, the journey leading up to a boss fight should be the boss's backstory. Because a Dark Souls game is supposed to be subtle in story, so show storytelling through the action that plays out. You know, have the kingdoms represent what kind of, you know, boss it is, what their personality is. Have the enemies represent what type of people followed this boss, you know, just statues and all kinds of environmental things to show what kind of, you know, entity this boss is, just to gain intrigue. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Look forward to the next boss fight.